To me, there's nothing better than going out and finding a newborn calf and the sun's just coming up over the horizon, or maybe it's still foggy out there, you know, and you see this little thing come to life. And you do it more as a thing of enjoyment. And you don't do it for the money, but you do it for a lot of things, and one of those things is you do it for the people. I've been doing this all of my life. I got my first Angus heifers, I guess, when I was in the 9th grade. My wife and I both taught school for 40 years. I was an ag teacher and she was an elementary school counselor. And during that time, 2 children, Katie and George. And when Katie was old enough to show, she got her first Angus steer.
I grew up around cattle. Didn't ever think I'd have the opportunity to own land and have our own operation. I was fortunate enough, my wife loves cattle as much or more than I do. And so when we were able to purchase land, and that was one of the big things, is able to start our own cow herd, and it's something we both enjoy doing together, and it's very fulfilling, not only just for each other, but just again knowing that we're raising cattle and beef that can help feed our fellow man. But whether it's my wife or I, one of us every day, we're going to check all of every cow we have, every animal we have, just to make sure that they have plenty to eat from a grass standpoint, clean water to drink, just make sure that they're not sick or hurt. When we're in calving season, that's typically we're checking on everybody at least twice a day. So I mean, it's one of those, because we care about the animals. I mean, we're constantly keeping an eye on them and doing as much as we can just to make sure that they're healthy and happy. Everything we try to do, we try to minimize stress, try to minimize pain, because again, what's better for them and their welfare and health is going to benefit us in the long run. Sustainability for me, as we're looking at it, the more we can take care of the land and the better practices we can do from the land standpoint, it's going to benefit not only the cows but our operation. So all of our pastures, we utilize cross fencing and rotational grazing. That way that we graze a pasture for just a set amount of time, then remove the cows, move them to another paddock or pasture, and let that other one rest. And that just improves everything from the soil fertility to the forage quality. It's just better for the land. So in the last 20 years, the Beef Quality Assurance Program, or BQA as some folks shorten it up to, it's probably been one of the most influential things, especially in talking and teaching and training producers to understand, when you're giving vaccinations or some sort of treatment, giving it in the proper location, proper techniques, that, again, leads to the safety and for the consumer side in terms of the meat quality.
It really is a good family bond and family connection. It really gives us all something to talk about. And since George grew up there with his family, I enjoy hearing the stories between George and his dad about how George grew up with cows, and then Malin grew up with cows. And I can always learn something whenever we go out there and we talk about the cows.
Well, I'm proud to raise beef for the consumer. Like I said, in agriculture, we're less than 2% in here in the U.S., and we're trying to help feed the rest of the other 98% besides ourselves. And I'm proud to be a part of that, of trying to help feed our fellow people and raise beef that's nutritious and healthy and safe. But it's one of those that, it's whenever we have a calf born and all the way up to when you get them bigger and you sell them, and it's just the pride you have of knowing that we're trying to help our fellow man.